Assalamu Alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So I'm really excited to share this video with you guys today. We are doing portfolio update, and one that's actually slightly going to be different than what we have done before in terms of a lot of the sales that I've made, decisions that I've actually made over the last 3-4 weeks. Now there are some, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 5 different things. The first one is buys and sells. We're going to talk about ETF. We're going to talk about dividends, rental income, and then we're going to talk about plan for dividend yield side of things, which we never really discussed, and then the ISA account. So that's a lot to get into, and exactly that's what we're going to do right now, and start with that. But before we do anything else, from the outset, I just want to mention a couple of things. Now, this is my portfolio, and I've been working on it for the last 5 years, 4.5 years, whatever it is. I think in May of this year, I think it will be 5 years, right? And I have plans and goals, and inshallah I would like to achieve. My plans and goals will be very much different to yours. It might be some similarities, but it will be different. My age bracket is different. I'm 37. Some of you might be slightly older, some of you slightly younger, whatever, same age, whatever it is, and you might still have different goals and so on. So you have to be mindful of all these things when you basically watch these videos, because I will make decisions based on what is good for me, on what I think will help me in the long run. Inshallah, these decisions will be good decisions, one that hopefully benefits me and the Ummah and everyone else around me. But again, you just need to do your own research and work out what it is that you need. Because like I said, we are very different people, and I just want to make sure that basically you understand that, because there will be decisions that I probably have made today, and I'm going to discuss that in this video. You might agree, or might not you might disagree, and that's absolutely fine. But just be mindful. My goal and my journey is slightly different to yours, and even if we have similarities, we're still two different people. So please be mindful of that. What I'm trying to say is, do not copy what you see, or do not criticize what you see, because we are in a different places in our lives. Okay, and like I've always said to you guys, I do these videos, I just want to be transparent. I just want to be honest with you guys. I started this whole video as basically the whole portfolio, as you can see here, basically I think it was May of 2020. This year will be 5 years. 5 years of basically literally putting away money every single month. Okay, and this is where we are now, alhamdulillah. I'm going to continue doing this. By the way, they've trading 212 have made a lot of changes. Look at this now. So on the portfolio side of things, you can see now that's basically where we are overall. Basically £21,440 and all 21%, which is really nice to see. That's if I sell the entire portfolio, that's how much money I will be making right now. They've made a lot of changes. If you don't use this platform and you live in the UK or other European country, try it out. Really, it's been really good, and you can you get a free share, and I'll get a free share, inshallah. So just the link is on the description. Now, the other thing I want to say is before we get started, it takes a lot of time and basically to put these videos together. If you can join us at the Patreon account, where you get access to the Discord and all the other things that we always talk about, that will be really, really helpful. Now, let's go back. Now, I'm going to talk about, first of all, the buys, and then we're going to talk about the sales. And straight away, what you see is all the buys for the month of Jan, not November. Okay, January buys and sells. So we'll talk about the buys first, and as you can see here, I bought Mid-America apartments, about 14, almost 15 shares, cost me £1,855. I will tell you in a second exactly where that money came from. I've already shared this information with the community, so if you're on the Discord, you probably know. And they pay about £4 in terms of per share, and that will add about £59 in terms of total income. Cube is another one. I've talked about it in the last video. I've basically bought over £2,000. I've sold into it, which we talked about in the last video. And for that reason, basically I took every penny from there and bought this basically 68 or 69 shares. You get $1.40 for every £1 for every basically share of this company. That gives me about 96 pounds. Hershey bought 2.2 shares, 280. That added about over £8 in terms of dividends. I bought more UPS when they went down, so now I own about I'll share with you guys at the end of the video how many shares I own. I can't remember, so it was 50 plus anyway. £361 pounds basically I spent. and that has about over £16 in terms of dividends. I bought more Canadian National Resources, about £90 of it, and that adds about just closer to £5. And then I bought more Merck recently, because after they would drop to that day, I think it would drop to about 12% or whatever it was on the day they reported. So I bought 3.45 shares. I think I rounded it up to now 30 shares, I think. And before I had 27 or something like that, or 30 and a half, whatever it is. Anyway, I bought basically £250 worth of shares, and that added about £7.58. So in total, £192 in terms of passive income, inshallah, moving forward. And that I spent over 5,200. And now let's talk about how much money I've added. So I've added, okay, £1,638. I will talk about the ISA in a bit, but yeah, so I've added that much this month, and basically the total, so that's the entire thing. That's basically how much I spent. Now let's talk about what I sold. I sold into it, and I said in the last video, so I'm not going to repeat what I said. I still own in the family portfolio, so I'm not saying this is a dead company, get out of it. And I don't think I will be selling it soon. I'm just going to leave it for a bit. I'll let you know what happens, inshallah, especially if you're on the Discord and the Patreon account. I will share that information with you guys, because that's where I share all the family portfolio news. And then I've sold the iShares, basically ETF, and both ETFs are gone out of my portfolio. So I don't own any more ETFs in this portfolio, and I'll explain why. And I know a lot of the community really loved an ETFs, and I actually genuinely think that is a very, very good thing to have, okay? The reason I sold is because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the entire portfolio. He's probably watching now, and he always said, you know what? Like, you barely add any money to those ETFs. Are you really genuinely you just have it there? Do you just want to have them there, or is it just you just doing it for the sake of it? Like, well, what's the thesis behind it? Why do you own them? And it kind of made me think right now, like, I'm trying to build a basically dividend portfolio here. One of these ETFs pays dividends. The other one accumulates, basically you get paid, but they reinvest it for you. And I will come back to that in a second. And the dividends yield is like 1% or whatever it is. So it's not going to make any huge difference. So I was just thinking, there are companies out there that if I reinvest in this money into those companies, that will potentially, okay, give me better return in terms of total return, dividend side of things, and price side of things than these ETFs in the long run. I could be wrong, but right now I don't have a bullish case for owning these ETFs, and it's just that feeling. Like, every time I add a little bit of money, I'm like, why am I doing this? But when I buy more, for example, Merck or any of these companies, I get excited about it. I know I'm buying more basically for the income side of it, for price appreciation, if these companies do well. But I don't get the same feeling. So I genuinely can't explain. I don't have a perfect answer to say, yes, that's the reason why I'm selling. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is something to do with this ETF. Okay, I've shared that. The community brought that basically to my attention recently. We looked at it, and this is the issue. Okay, this ETF does not pay dividends, so you accumulate it. But when they reinvest, they just said, by the way, find your own way of purifying, because there might be some basically non-halal whatever, purifying this ETF on your own. But they don't actually give you the information about how much of this basically is, and so how much this are basically the non-halal, if you like, okay, or the haram side of things. They do that for the one that pays. So there's distribution one, and there's also the accumulation. The distribution one, they actually do, and I think it says here, I found this basically document within their website, and they talked about the dividend side of things. They talk about when it's declared quarterly basis, blah blah. So this is distribution. That means they pay the dividends. Okay, the other one is the accumulating, so the ACC shares. So the distributing one, they will tell you, okay, on their website, they will publish the basically on their website prior to being reinvested in the perspective of those shares. So they income and other profits which are accumulated are not subject to purification to prior. So this is what they said to us if you own the ACC one. Okay, if you own the one that basically the one that distributes, okay, this is what they've said. Investors shall be notified on the dividend declaration date of the percentage of prohibited income in any dividend to be paid to them and which would require purification. I'm like, why don't you do the same thing? Then we can go away and do our own thing. Okay, so this is a little bit annoying. Okay, so they will calculate based on what you own or whatever, maybe, and then they will tell you exactly how much you need to purify and so on. So this is a bit annoying. So that's probably one of the main reasons basically I sold was because the reason I said at the beginning, in terms of price appreciation, in terms of basically how I feel and where I am now, I feel like I can do better than some of these ETFs in terms of total returns, and that's the reason why I've actually sold it. But also that's a bit annoying. This one, in fact, they share all that information with you. They give you the dividends and they give you when all that information on their website, which is quite nice. So that's the buys and sells for this month. So I've added about 1,628 pounds, 38 pounds. So that's buys and sells, ETFs done. Let's now talk about dividends received. Okay, and dividend received is for this month was 96 pounds. So this is what I've received since 2020 up until now. So for the last basically 5 years, what I have been receiving. So like I said to you, this May will be basically 5 years of investing in this portfolio. Inshallah, I will let you know how that goes. But let's have a now look at the dividends. So these are the companies that have paid me. So ADP, Automatic Data Processing, paid me 26 pounds and 15 pence. Canadian Natural Resources paid me 26 pounds and 81, which is really nice. CRM for the first dividends out 3 pounds and 25 pence, and Intuit paid me 3 pounds and 62 pence as well. EOG Resources paid me 25 pounds and 36 pence. Merck have paid me about 15 pounds, and MAA or Mid America Apartments actually paid me 3 pounds and 17 pence. I just bought, I didn't even know I actually met the ex-dividend day, but I just bought it, and then basically I think I had one share or whatever it was, and basically that's how much they paid me. So inshallah February I'll let you guys know what I get paid. Now in terms of total income, including the rental income, remember I do own one property in basically in the UK in a place called Leicester that's rented for £575. I paid everything in cash, so I don't have any mortgages or anything like that. I bought this in March of 2022, so it's been, this March will be basically 3 years of owning that property. So inshallah we'll see how that goes. The money that I've received from that property has always gone to basically my family account. So the family portfolio was based on basically the rental income that I used to receive, but about a year and a bit ago I stopped doing that because I needed that money for another property that's on the pipeline. Inshallah I will share more information with you guys potentially December of this time, inshallah, this year I mean. So I will give you more information about that. And of course there's a management fee that I paid because there's people that manage the property, so they take about basically 10% plus VAT, all of that stuff. Alhamdulillah, I had no maintenance this month. I just paid ground rental because it's an apartment, it was £150. Other than that, so £566 is basically my income from the property, and dividends we've already seen. Add the two together, £602, basically £2. Now inshallah my main plan for the long run is to be able to look back and inshallah see this number grow every single year. If I can grow this number to 2,000 to 3,000 pounds, that will be absolutely amazing in the long run. Inshallah I might go to one of those low-cost countries and retire and enjoy my life. Inshallah, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but that's inshallah in the long run. So that is also now dividends and income done. Now let's go back, talking about income side of things. If I go back to the portfolio, as you can see right now, basically my dividend yield is 2.09% right now. Okay, the yield on cost is 2.54, which is good. Now my long-term plan is to be able to live off this portfolio plus my rental incomes, inshallah. Okay, what I want to do is this year I'm gonna make an effort, and I want to see how it goes. Okay, I want to make an effort to actually make this yield 2.5. If I can do 2.5% of my basically this yield here, that would be absolutely amazing. If I can do even more, that would be wonderful. Now that doesn't mean I'm just going to target high yield stocks or anything like that. I will still be buying high quality businesses just like the ones I own right now in my portfolio, but I will keep an eye on this. And this is what I have been doing, especially this month. Now, as you can see, we got two REITs that have a high yield. These two automatically became, because they actually down a lot. This one I think is like 6%, which is ridiculous. This is like 3-something% right now, which is dividend yield, which is mad. And I think this one is 5%. This one is about 3%. It's always been about 3. When I bought it, it was about 3%, and it more or less stayed from the same now. It's gone back to that situation now. So a lot of these companies now have a high yield automatically, but I'm not saying I'm going to target them. But a lot of them are really good companies that are down so far. So I will still be buying high quality companies, like I've got Broadcoms, Qualcomms, ASMLs, and so on. I'm going to continue buying those high quality businesses, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'm going to try to meet that target, inshallah. That's my long-term plan. So I'll keep you in the loop, inshallah. Just to quickly run down before I talk about ISA. As you can see, you can pause the video. So I'm going to show everything that I own. There's 26 assets here. There's no more ETFs. Everything is just here now, just one portfolio. And I think I'm going to keep it like this for a while, inshallah. Let's see what happens. So we've got Broadcom, which is up about almost to 400%. Visa, which has done absolutely amazing. Visa used to be one of the best performing stocks that I've had in my portfolio for a long time, but it's never been this great. So it's doing really well. 64% entire portfolio. I've had it in the portfolio for a very long time, over £2,200 up right now. We got another one, SPE Global, almost over 45% up, which is nice. I've made a sell of this company recently, remember, otherwise it would have been probably the second best, or the when it comes to total return, 1,500. Home Depot, we're looking about 1,500 or 48%. Automatic data processing, 31%. And a lot of these companies actually pay really good dividends. Okay, just don't forget that they have a growing dividends. This is dividend growth companies. What I showed you earlier, those companies that are on the bottom of this are dividend growth companies, but they have a high yield. Whereas these guys here, they might have 1 or 2%, but they would increase about 15%, 14% every single year. This is a dividend king, okay, S&P Global, which is absolutely crazy, right? Another dividend king there, another dividend. I think this one is a dividend aristocrat. So dividend aristocrats everywhere. So inshallah, we'll see how it goes. And Air Products and Chemicals, Qualcomm, I'm up about 37%. Mastercard, I'm up 22%. Union Pacific, 22%. Salesforce, about 41%. I wish I bought more at the time when it was very cheap, but I do own this company in the entire family portfolio as well, so I'm happy with that. ASML about 10% up. Since remember the last time we dropped massively, we've been buying some whatever, but right now it's actually done really well, so I'm going to keep an eye on that, see how it goes. Procter & Gamble's the one I wish actually I bought more. I wish I bought more of this company over the last whatever years. And MSCI is another one that was so cheap at one point. We talked about it a lot. I bought it. I'm holding on to this one. Very nice in terms of dividend wise. I think it's got like 5-year average of like 24% or whatever it is, but it only paid the dividends I think about 5 years, basically about less than 10 years anyway. Lind is another one I wish I bought more of, but it has just about 14% up now, not much. Merck, I'm buying more now, so 2,151, so I will continue buying inshallah in the next few weeks. Look at this, AstraZeneca has come back since, remember, the massive drop. EOG Resources, another energy company, has got I think 3% on plus high yield, which is quite nice. At the same time, you've got the price appreciation. Waste Management, a new addition to the portfolio. When I bought it, I thought it was a bit overvalued. It's gone up a little bit, so about 7% up. I want to buy more of it, so inshallah, hopefully it might drop in the next few months. Cube is brand new. We just added basically last couple of days, so less than 1% up. Mid America Apartment Communities is actually up about £4 right now as well. Then we get to the red, which is Rio Tinto, down about 1%. Record Bank is 3.8%. Remember this time, at one point, this was down about 1,500, whatever it was. Right now, it's actually coming back. My average price for this one is actually, what is it? Okay, £54, and right now it's £52, so not far off. And then you've got Canadian National Resources here, about 9% down, which is I'm happy with because I'm buying more of these. Hershey, I'm really happy with this situation. Is actually they reported, and then since they reported, they're up quite a bit, about 4%, which is in the last couple of days. So it's absolutely fine with me. I'm gonna continue buying more of this company. I really like the business. And then UPS is the next one. That's down so much. There's a lot going on with this company. I'm not going to sugarcoat some of it. A bit scary, but I might do a full video inshallah to talk about it. There's a lot to talk about it, but I am not selling it. I am definitely selling none of these companies. I have questions about Merck. I have questions about AstraZeneca. When stocks drop, that's when I start doing my research. If I found out everything is intact, I actually buy more, and I'm going to continue buying more. Now it's the time to talk about the ISA side of things. Okay, I'm not going to show you guys the average prices of each one of these things, and I'm going to reshare because I've actually stopped sharing the entire portfolio thing. So I'm going to reshare that with you guys. So if you, I'll put it on the comment section for you guys to see the entire portfolio. But inshallah, maybe another video I might just start looking at some of the average prices. Not a lot of it has not changed, to be fair. Now this is the bit that I wanted to talk about, and that is the ISA side of things. As you can see here, this is my entire investment. That's not the ISA. The ISA is this bit here. Okay. So as you can see here, I've got basically about £12,500 left to invest between now and April. So I've got about 2 months. Now I'm expecting, inshallah, I'm expecting in March, basically quite a bit of money to come through, inshallah. Once that comes through, I will be buying more of. So I will be using my February salary plus the money that I'm going to get in March, inshallah, to try and maximize our account. By the time we get to April the 6th or whatever the date is, inshallah, that £12,483 will be in this account, and I will be buying something more. I'm going to try my best. I've done it every single year since I started this portfolio, so I'm really determined to do it. I'm definitely not getting to any debt or anything like that. I do have some savings that I do basically use for emergency. Worst case scenario, if that money doesn't come through, I will find a way, inshallah, even if I have to use my emergency, because I want to maximize my ISA account. That's what I've done always, and I'm going to keep an eye on this, inshallah, moving forward. That's the entire portfolio. I really genuinely hope that you're enjoying this and you like what you see in the transparency and everything else. Okay, I'm trying to build generational wealth, and I'm sharing my journey with you guys in day in, day out. Okay, I'm going to continue doing that. I'm human. I will make mistakes. I promise you I will make mistakes, just like you and just like everybody else out there. But what I'm not going to do is shy away from the reality, which is basically right now where I am in my life. I needed to make some changes and whatever, and I need to basically invest every single day like crazy. Genuinely, I think I said this before. Some days I come home and I'm really tired. If the market is open and I have money in the account, I buy more stocks. Why? Because I know I don't want to keep doing this. Okay, I can't be waking up every single morning that early, going to work, this and that. I'm not a lazy person, but there's days where you got a long day and you just wish, you know what? I wish I could take tomorrow off, but you know you can't, because your boss will be asking you, where are you? And I don't want to answer that phone call. Okay, so inshallah we'll get there, but please be mindful, be patient, be investing in high quality businesses. Do your research. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you guys own in the portfolio. We're now 24 minutes into this video. If you are buying stocks and you own individual stocks or ETF, whatever floats your boat, whatever you're buying right now, put it on the comment section so you can benefit other brothers and sisters. Don't watch this video and just leave it like that. Go and put it on the comment section, whatever it is that you own right now that's Sharia compliant, that brothers and sisters can actually benefit from, inshallah, so they can do their research and basically learn from you as well. Have a wonderful day. But before I finish off everything, I just want to show you one last thing, and that's the diversification. This is the S&P 500, the 11 sectors, and each sector is represented apart from these two here right now, and I'm happy with this. Okay, information technology is my strong. I've always basically said because I've got computer science degree, I know a lot about these companies. 21%, financials 20%, industrials 18%, and so on. The 4% for real estate, that's absolutely amazing. But healthcare has come down a lot, so I'm potentially might be adding another healthcare company to the portfolio, and then keep buying more real estate, inshallah, in the basic real estate investment side of things, and I'll let you know, inshallah, how that goes. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu Alaikum.